Welcome back to Wreckfest. You join us today after we finished the Regional Juniors Championship in the previous episode. If you haven't seen it, go back and have a look and see how we finished it off. But we scored a 1,475 points out of a needed 1,200, so pretty good I think. There's still races we can progress a bit more in as well, but today we begin the National Amateurs, and to win this championship we need 1,800 points. So today we might as well start with the first race, and that is the Scandinavian Tour. Now this is 4 races and 4 results essentially, but something I worked out, we can use 4 different cars, one for each different race. So that's what we're going to do. I like using different cars all the time rather than sticking with the same one. So for this very first race, which is at Firwood Motocenter main circuit, we're going to use the Rocket. It's a brilliant car, we've used it quite a bit, but we're going to have a look at some upgrades before we get into it and see if there's anything we can change to increase our chances. Let's have a look. Armour seems to be okay. I want to leave a minimal armour on so we don't get destroyed completely. Obviously, we are on realistic damage, so we have to be a little bit careful. A lot of it, all the upgrades are quite expensive now, though, as well. We've got a massive amount of money. Can do that, though. Doesn't change our rating. It does give us a little bit more power. So we are going in at 149, which I think is a decent rating for us. Any more than that, I think we're getting close to B rating as well. But Firwood Motocenter, a brand new circuit for us. In fact, all 4 races in this Scandinavian Championship are brand new circuits for us. We've not done any of these before, which means we've got one race to figure it out and try and get the best result. So here we go. Let's begin the first race of the Scandinavian Tour in the Rocket at Firwood Motocenter. We're starting in 11th place, which isn't too bad, middle of the pack. We want to try and get out of that as quickly as possible without doing too much damage to ourselves. That is the big aim. So we go into the first corner, right through the middle here, gaining a few positions, getting a bit caught up on the car on the inside there. Up to 4th now already as we force our way through, up to 3rd, up to 2nd, up the inside of 1st place. Can't quite get the exit that we wanted, but over the hill we do. We gained a bit of speed there. We're in 1st place, nearly messed it up on the jump and nearly going sideways, but managed to keep control. 1st place now. That didn't take very long, a couple of corners, but we're being chased down, so we've got to be a bit careful here. And again, we don't know the circuit, so this is kind of judging where we should be braking, our best line through the corners, and hope for the best. Using the mini-map as much as possible to try and scout ahead. Went very deep into the corner there, just couldn't see where the corner was or where we needed to brake. Managed to hold the spin as well, managed to stop us going completely over 180. Managed to get a bit of a sideways though. But now on the tarmac, this is where this car excels on the tarmac. It is brilliant. It sticks like glue on the tarmac. As you can see, as we take the corner really nicely there. Poor exit as we kind of touch the grass as we get a bit sideways. We are pulling away a little bit from 2nd place, which is what we need. We need that little bit of gap just in case we do make a mistake, as this car doesn't quite like the mud as much as the tarmac. A bit wide there on the turn into the corner, but did it really nicely. Right-hander coming up now. Can we hold it nicely? Not really hitting the apexes, but I'm not that surprised to be fair. Back onto the tarmac though, the Rocket is flying like a rocket, strangely. Right-hander taking that quite nicely. Not as tight as it could be, so there's lots of room for improvement here. You can see in the corners we're not getting quite tight to the apex, so we're not taking them at the best angle, but we're doing really well anyway. Over the line to begin the final lap as well. A bit deep into the first corner, but we have a bit of space to breathe, so it's not too bad. Just got to keep this going. We know the final part of this circuit is probably our best, our fastest section, to be fair, because of the tarmac. So we just got to hold it through this next bit, and hopefully we've got this in the bag. No mistakes now though. Right-hander here, again, not really near the apex, but holding it well. Nearly got out of sorts on the exit there. You can see the car fishtailing a little bit, but held it pretty well. And now coming through the slight bend here. Nicely done. We've got a right-hander coming up. Can we get the braking point right? We do, and I think we take that pretty well, to be fair. A bit sideways on the exit, but we hold it nicely. Cutting a bit of the corner there, and we're going to cross the line now, and I think we've got this in the bag. It is indeed a 1st place finish with a brand new personal best, as it's our first race here, of 50.204. It's a pretty good PB, I think, for the Rocket, and that is a win for us in the first of 4 races in the Scandinavian Tour. Pretty happy with that. It went really well. The Rocket, fantastic car, as always. We move on now to the second race. It's at Pinehills Raceway main circuit. Again, a brand new circuit for us. And we'll need to change our car. Because the Rocket has done its first race. What car should we go for next? That is the question. We've got a choice of 4, so 1 for each race. I don't really have a preference, to be fair, because they're all different races and we don't know any of the circuits. I think we'll go for Tristar. We haven't used it that much. We used it in 2 races in the last episode, just to give it a go, as it was a brand new car we gained from winning a race. But we do need to upgrade it. It's nowhere near ready for this first race. So what can we add here? We've got to be a bit wary of money. We haven't got the most money in the world, so we need to be a bit careful. But we can get a few upgrades on. Nice radiator going in. Street intake manifolds. It's not too bad. How are we for money? Very low. Armour wise, we want to keep the minimum on to a degree. Actually, because we can't do many upgrades, do we want to take armour off? I think we probably should go minimal. We put all the armourers on there because we did a demolition race, I think, in this car last episode. I think it was. So we do need to take some of that off. Minimal, I think, is probably best. So we're going in at the same rating the Rocket was, the 149 rating for the Tristar, a brand new circuit. Pinehills Raceway main circuit. So a mixture of tarmac and mud. Hopefully we can hold our own in this. Again, we've used this car in demolition races, and that's about it. So we don't really know what it's like. You may notice the custom paint job. I was suggested by someone in the comments that we should customize our cars. I don't normally do that. We've spent a bit of time doing it, but we're off. 9th place, starting right in the middle of the pack, trying to get away through. Decent start by the Tristar, very quick on acceleration. Or the yellow car kind of bumps us there, but up the inside, and the Tristar is already in the lead. Wow, what a start. Somehow forced its way through the pack, stayed out of trouble, and is already in first place. This was not expected in the slightest. I thought we'd struggle at least for the first lap. But there are some tight corners here, very deep for this corner, having to do a full spin round, but actually took it nicely in the end, even with the deep entrance. I think we held it nicely. The tarmac definitely helping with the grip. Left-hander taken very nicely as well. We are gaining time on the cars behind. We're pulling away and putting a gap between us and them, which is very good for a car we don't know. Took the corner a little bit too fast. I think we touched the inside curb or outside curb, and it just turned us over. What a roll there. We gained a rival in the process. We've damaged the car massively, and you can see it's a little bit bent out of shape. We've got some problems as well, and you can definitely tell the problems are there with this controller. You can feel it in how we drive, and it is not fun. The radiator's taken the brunt of it, but we now need to come back. But we're already in first place. It's as if it didn't happen. It just seems that the Tristar is just quicker than everything else, by a long way as well. All we've done is maximise what we can actually do in the car and take some armour off. And I suppose the armour's let us down a little bit. If we had more armour on, the roll may not have done as much damage, and it may not be as difficult to drive currently, although it's manageable, to be fair. We're still doing decent speeds. It's not really affecting us as much as I thought it would. So we can hold on now. We're on the second lap. We're doing okay in first place. And as I say, it's not really affecting our lap times, I don't think. We still seem to be pretty fast. And no one else seems to be able to get anywhere near us. So I don't know if that's because the Tristar 149 is just brilliant, or we may be too advanced for the cars. We are on the hardest difficulty. So I'm surprised we're able to do this after that crash. But we kind of got through the pack pretty quickly. I think they were quite spread out, which made a difference. So when we rejoined, it was quite simple to get through because there wasn't many cars that overtook us because we had a bit of a gap anyway. And I think that's made a massive difference. But on the last lap now, we've just got to see this out. As I say, the car's handling isn't the best, but we're doing really well. The right-hander here, getting quite tight to the corner, taking that pretty nicely. Trying not to go too quickly through it because there's no need to make another mistake. We've already made one by rolling. I don't want to do that again if we can avoid it. So trying to stay off the curbs a little bit. It was just, I think the left wheel got caught on the curb, and as we took it, it kind of just rolled us over. Kind of got stuck on it kind of thing as we turned. It was, yeah, big mistake. But I think we've done well to come back from it. And the car is just holding on. But we're coming towards the end of the race. We are in first place, and we're going to see it out. Big gap to the cars behind. We're going to see this out in first place again. 2 wins out of 2 for this episode and this race series. And the best lap is a new personal best, as it's a new track, of 1 minute .00.350. So the Tristar has set the new personal best lap for this circuit. We move on to race number 3. This is at Rosenheim Raceway main circuit again. Another new track. Although I say new track, it's a new layout. We've done the reverse circuit previously. The Firefly has anyway. But no car has done the main circuit before. So we'll set a PB for the main circuit. And for this, we're going to use the Firefly. Mainly because it's done the reverse circuit. So it's got a proven record here. Can't remember what the record is, but we have a proven record. So let's have a look what we need to do. Currently we have no armour, so we may need to put some on. Any upgrades we can afford here. We're still struggling money wise, and I'm expecting that. We kind of upgraded everything we could when we got it. So there is going to be a point of where money is going to become an issue. Minimum upgrades can be done, and maybe the other cars will catch up in terms of how good they are compared to us. So we just need to manage the money a little bit and make sure we're not overspending on one car when we're happy to change cars all the time. So if all these race series that have more than one race allow us to change car, we're going to do it. Obviously, it depends how many cars we own of that specific type that we can use in that race series. But yeah, we're going to try and change our race car as much as possible. I don't want to stick to one. So we're going into this with the Firefly rated 139, so 10 lower than the Tristar and Rocket for their races. But the main circuit at Rosenheim Raceway, I don't recognise it, even though I know we've done it backwards. So I don't recognise it offhand, but then anything in reverse looks so different to normal. So we'll have to see how we do there. But before we go in, we'll just have a look at tuning, just checking it was all sorted. We're all happy. We are starting in 11th place, 2 wins out of 2. Can we make it 3 wins out of 3? We're going to try and move through this pack as quickly as possible. Decent start, but not nearly as quick as the other 2 cars off the line. So I know we shouldn't really compare them to different cars, but I'm going to. Up the middle there, getting a bit caught up with all the trouble as well with the cars ahead. But we're currently in 2nd place. Kind of snatched it out of everyone else's hands there. Trying to go up the inside. The car ahead saying no. Does get a little tap for its closing the gap on us. But we do take the position anyway. 1st place after the first couple of corners. Right-hander here. It's going very deep and can't seem to get the car to turn. I think we maybe should have changed the tuning a little bit because this car is not liking the turns at all. That's not going to be good for the rest of the race. But we're in the 1st place, so we're doing okay. Bit of a gap now to the cars behind, so we just need to keep this going. Bit of a choice here, and we took the left-hand route just because we were already there. Didn't really have a chance to think. But we've taken it nicely. I don't know if that's the quickest route, but that is lap number 1 done. Already onto lap number 2. First corner taken fairly nicely on there. I think we did okay. Bit of smoke coming from the right front tyre as we kind of put a bit too much pressure on it. And lock it up a little bit, but we're flying, and I'm really surprised at that. I really thought we'd struggle, considering we don't know the track, and this car is rated 10 lower than the Rocket and the Tristar was. But a big mistake there. We made that mistake on the first lap as well, very deep into the corner, as we kind of struggled to do that corner for some reason. But we're still in 1st place and holding our own with the cars behind us, not really catching, but managing to keep a decent steady speed. Choice section again. This time we're going to take the opposite choice just to give it a go and see what we think is best. And take it very nicely, really. I think because on tarmac it's always going to be grippier taking that section rather than the off-road section, but it's a bit harder to get the corners right there. Final lap, we're in 1st place of 16 cars, and all we're going to do is see this out. No silly dramas, no spins, no crashes, no rolls like last time. But can we make this 3 wins out of 3? If we did, I'm so surprised we're doing this well, to be fair. Especially on the difficulty we've got it set at, I'm surprised. But pleasantly surprised at that. Doing really well now. The car really holding its own. As I say, corners a bit of an issue. We may have to look at tuning for that just to allow it to take corners a bit easier. So out of the choice section, we're going for the tarmac section again this time. We're playing it safe, just making sure we don't make any silly mistakes. As we come up to the line, we're going to win. We're going to get 1st place of 16 once again. And we're going to set a new personal best, as it's a new track, of 49.343. And that is the Firefly winning our 3rd race out of 3. 1 race to go. This could be a complete winning Scandinavian Tour if this goes to plan. Final race in the Scandinavian Tour at the Northland Raceway inner route. Again, new track, new layout. We actually haven't been here at all, so we don't know any of this one. And for this, we've only got one car left we haven't used, and that is Killerbee. We're just going to have a look at upgrades. We have got a little bit of money, but again, it's not much. We're kind of hitting our limit of money, mainly because we're upgrading constantly. So can we get anything else into this car? So, as we look back, the Rocket and the Tristar went into their race at 149. Firefly went into it at 139. So 10 difference between them. I think the Killerbee is going to be under the other two, but it could be close, depending on what we can do here. We're not going to be able to do much, I don't think. It's a big jump, isn't there, in money as well between some parts and others. But also from the sports to the race stuff, there's a big jump in money, normally. Radio, though, not too bad, to be fair there. Racing air filter. Racing ignition. I don't really know what the best thing to have on is. We'll take that. That didn't raise our rating much, but we've got some armour to look at. So we'll tone down the armour a little bit. I don't want to take it completely off, but I think we should tone it down a bit. Yeah. Side ones, I don't think we need the side ones on. Windows are fine. So we're at 148. Killerbee is going into Northland Raceway in a route race at 148. So 1 lower than the Rocket and the Tristar, and 9 higher than Firefly was for its race. But again, new circuit, new layout. Haven't been here before. So we'll see how this plays out. Looks like be a bit of tarmac and a bit of mud, all combined. I don't know. Can we make this 4 wins out of 4? We've won 3 out of 3. This could be 4 out of 4. Let's go. 11th place, we're starting. Decent acceleration off the start. Some other cars got a bit of a better start. We're making our way through the middle of the pack as we approach the first corner. Taken very nicely. Quickly switched to the inside and going past quite a few there as we use the cars to help us get around the corner. Tap from behind. Spun us a little bit there. And we're being hit by everyone as we try and reset ourselves. And we come away from that mess in 2nd place. Up the inside here, can we hold it? Oh, the other car really not letting us have the space, but we make it through after a bit of argy-bargy between the two of us, and we're in 1st place. It's all coming together nicely, but we are being chased down from behind. You can see the car there getting very close to us on that corner, so we need to keep the speed up here as much as possible. Just keep going strong. Right-hander now, braking nicely, taking that pretty nicely to be fair. Back end comes out a little bit, but we're holding that nicely onto the tarmac. And now we need to put the pedal down to the floor and just try and get a bit more of a gap between us and 2nd place. Currently, we are holding our own though. Okay, right-hander coming close to the end of the 1st lap. Taken quite nicely, bit cautious maybe. Didn't really take that at full race pace. Was just very cautious because I wasn't sure how that was going to go. End of the 1st lap though, we're in 1st place, and you may notice we're actually we're topping out the car. We can't go faster than 80 miles an hour. The minute we hit 80, that's it. The car has nothing else to give. That's an issue. So we've limited ourselves. That's down to the tuning we've done on this car for other races. But yeah, we're actually maximising our speed fairly quickly, and then it's being stuck at that speed. We'll notice it along the home straight just then. I think we'll notice it again on this back end bit, I think. Because here we are. We're 78 miles an hour over the jump. We're now at 80 miles an hour, just under now, over the jump again. So we're kind of nearly hitting it, but because the jumps and stuff was slowing down a little bit, it's that the race to the line that I noticed this was an issue. Let's see if we see it again, just to make sure I was right in what I kind of saw and felt. So yeah, it is. We're maximising ourselves. We're hitting the limiter. Doesn't really seem to matter to the race itself because we're still in the lead. There we go. We've hit 80. Once we hit 80 miles an hour, we're done. There's no more speed. So that's something we need to look at for the next race. I don't like having a car that doesn't go any faster than that. If we're hitting the limiter, there's an issue with our tuning, or we need better parts. One of the two. But it doesn't matter. We're on the final lap, 1st place. Cars behind are not catching. So as long as we don't make any silly mistakes here, we're fine. But yeah, for stronger races, bigger races, we need to have a look into that and just see what is doing it. Okay. Can we see this out though? 1st place. Not much of the race left to go. We've got the back end section to come up in a minute. We're starting it now. And just got to take these jumps nicely. It's the landing on these jumps. The car can get a bit fishy if we're not careful. Right-hander taking that really nicely. Holding ourselves nicely around that onto the tarmac. Left-hander coming up. Again, I think we're taking that quite nice and tight. Trying to keep the speed as high as possible. And we've got the right-hander coming up next. Taking that a bit cautiously. We don't need to make any risks here. Nicely done. And it's now a race for the line on the home straight. First place in the bag. And that is 4 wins out of 4 on the Scandinavian Tour. A new personal best, as we've not done this before, of 1 minute 0.08.440. That's for every other car to beat when they come and do this race. But that is 4 wins out of 4. I think that's a pretty good job. And the final position confirmation. First place, bonus targets 4 of 4. Total points 400 of 400 for our first races in the National Amateurs. I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that. That is amazing. I wasn't expecting that when we went into that at all. Okay, the next race we're going to look at today is the Hateful Eight. This will be the final race of this episode. And this race is a figure of 8 at Hilltop Stadium. Another brand new stadium for us. We've not done this race here before. Choice of 2 cars, Firefly and Killerbee. Do you know what? I think we'll stick Killerbee. See if we can maximise it again. It's kind of already tuned for cornering. So, as we noticed, we were topping out on the last race. So that means we've tuned it for a race like this, essentially. Figure 8s aren't too bad. We need acceleration over power more than anything else, I find anyway. Or acceleration over top speed. So you can see how the tuning here is set. So yeah, acceleration over top speed. Our gear ratio was set all the way to short. So that's why we were maximising our speed. Well, not maximising, but limiting our speed, because that affects our top speed in the end. So we've moved that a little bit, but we're going to keep the acceleration bonus we have. We're going in still as we were, 148 C rated. And we need 12 or higher out of 24 per heat. So the qualifying race now, we're off. We need to get into the top 12. That's the aim. Doesn't matter about anything else at this point. Top 12 is all we need here. Struggling a little bit straight away, getting a bit caught up with some trouble. Trying to stick to the inside here. Up to 12th place, already in the top 12 now. As we kind of flick a car around there. Nearly causing ourselves to go into the barrier, but holding our own a little bit. Up the inside here, can we gain a few positions? Not really. Getting attacked from behind though as well. We gained a few there though. As some cars go to the outside, we're staying tight to the inside. Oh, missed the turning completely there. That is not good. We're going to drop down the order now, where we're going to rejoin. We're rejoining this in 19th with some damage and a new rival essentially. So we need to be very careful now. We've got some major damage. This is going to be a tricky race to get into the top 12 now. So, I think we are making the mistake of going too high as we crash into someone else. Oh, come on. We've done so well as we started the National and Amateurs, and now we're doing so badly. This car is totaled. There is barely anything left. Everything is damaged. You can feel it in the controls severely. The accelerator can barely be pressed down. And, yeah, this is not fun. This is going to be an issue. We're in 20th place of 24 with a lap and a half to go. And we need top 12. We need a miracle. We need something to happen ahead of us. Because I think we're in trouble. Okay. One car booted out the way into 19th now. So we need 7 more places. Up the inside of 3 cars there. We gained a 16th. Up another one. That's 15th. We may do this. This may be possible. Another car getting a bit out of sorts on the exit there. We're going to gain that one too. Up to 14th now. 5 cars ahead of us here. We can get this. We can qualify. We just need to go up the inside. No, blocked off on the inside. Having to go outside, but 2 cars are forced to crash. We're in the 12th place now. The car coming from behind though. Got to hold the inside. Come on. We need their 8th place. And we finished. Wow. We crashed and we come back to get 8th place. Personal best of 34.752, as we've not done this race before. Wow. I was not expecting to come back after that crash. There was definitely some issues with our handling there. So we moved the differential back. I think that did cause us to get a bit out of sorts in the corners. Semi-final next. Top 12 needed a gain of 24. The problem with these races, when there's so many cars, 24 cars in them, and it's a figure 8 circuit, you're quite all bunched up, and it can get quite difficult to get through, and they can cause trouble. So we need to do what we can here to get as close to the front as possible and stay out of trouble this time. Already taking some damage though as we hit the car ahead, but already gaining positions on the inside. The cars all seem to take the outside line for these curves, and probably is the faster line, but to overtake, we're holding the inside and it's working for us, as we're already into 3rd place now, up the inside again of the 2 cars in the lead. Can we hold it? We can indeed. We're taking 1st place. We're not going to make the mistakes we made in the last race. We're going to take this bull by the horns and make sure we win this ourselves. Spinning around the corner there really nicely. Lap 1 is nearly over. There we go, there's the line. Lap 2 begins. And again, we're holding our own. Now the concern is the crossover point. We could be in the lead, but that crossover could really mess us up. So we need to make sure this is timed well and we avoid any cars crossing, which we do there. I don't think we're that far ahead, and I think that makes a difference. If we're massively ahead and cars are crossing, that's when we get in trouble. But I don't think we're that far, so that's good for us. Although we see a few cars crossing there. Nothing coming by looks to think, so we're good to go. And we're going to end the 2nd lap, begin the final lap of this heat for the semi-final in 1st place. 1 lap to go, and we just need to hold this now. No silly games. Take the corners as nice as we can. Oh, mistake there as we kind of messed the corner up. This went really deep, couldn't turn, locked the brakes up, just couldn't do anything. But we're far enough ahead to keep 1st. That's the important thing. Not that it matters, because as long as we finish top 12, we're good. We're golden for the final. And I think we're not going to need top 12, because I think we're going to win it. 1 crossover to go, and it'll be the end. Don't think there's anything coming. There was actually behind us, but it doesn't matter. We're going to finish the semi-final in 1st place and set a brand new personal best of 33.008. Did it. We did it. We're in the final. This National Amateurs so far smashed it. Final time though now. Killerbee in the final at Hilltop Stadium Figure 8. Starting in 1st place as well, so that's an advantage. Can we hold it? Can we win? Come on. It's written in the stars. Let's see if we can hold this out. Already starting in 1st place gives us a massive advantage, because then we're not dealing with the trouble from the cars behind. We're not really getting into any mess with the cars behind either at the start and the first couple of corners. But that was a bit of a spin there. We kind of held it nicely. In the 2nd though, I don't really want 2nd, I want 1st. So up the inside, and we're holding it into 1st place. This car really grips well. It really holds the line you put it on really well. Taking the corner there, had to readjust, thought I'd taken it a bit too tight, but actually ends up doing really well there as we start the 2nd lap of 6 for this final. And I think we're doing pretty well. 1st place still, holding our own. I think we are dropping the cars behind as well. Now the danger for this one, because there's now doubled the amount of laps, the chance of seeing a car at that crossover is increased, especially from lap 3-4 onwards. That's when that crossover point is going to get busy. So we need to be careful here. We can't really slow down because I don't really want to risk falling back into the pack or anything. We've just lapped a car there as well. So we don't want to slow down too much, but at the same time we just need to be aware that crossover could become a problem and mess us up. And if that does it, we're going to lose 1st place. So we need to really keep it careful here. Trying to scan as we come across. No! I'm just saying it as well. As we get smashed on the 3rd lap, halfway through the late race, and we're wrecked as well. Don't do that. Ah, that's frustrating. We do set a new personal best, even though we're wrecked and did not finish. We set a new personal best of 32.796, but still, we're wrecked, and it's over. So for the Hateful Eight, we get no points out of the 200 offer as we didn't finish the final. Wasn't the way I wanted to end this episode, but that is the danger of realistic damage. And yeah, the fact that we were talking about it as we approached the crossing and it just didn't go our way, unfortunately. So that's something we'll have to go back to and have a look again at some point. But that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode as we began the National Amateurs. Until next time, we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.